Alright, hello everyone. If you're like me and you absolutely hate the Jubbly Jive and the new sailing update for OSRS, I have good news for you. After reaching level 60, you unlock tasks for Releka, and you can achieve XP rates that are pretty on par with the Jubbly Jive Marlin runs. First things first, I'm going to take a look at my skiff here. I have the Campor hull, the adamant keel, and a mithril helm, but the helm doesn't super matter. And finally I have the Campor mast and canvas sails. Now you don't have these unlocked, but if you fill a keg on your ship with the Whirlpool Surprise, you can get a +3 buff to sailing to make these upgrades early. Alternatively, you can also get a +5 boost from the Evil Dave basement after completing the Saving Evil Dave portion of Recipe for Disaster and get them even earlier. With no buffs, you can get the hull at 67 sailing and 59 construction, the keel at 66 sailing and 62 construction, and the mast at 68 sailing and 60 construction. The hull and the mast will greatly reduce your route times, which increases your XP per hour, and the keel makes it just a little bit more comfortable if you have to take some hits from aggressive NPCs. Finally, on the skiff, I have a teleport focus and a wind catcher. The teleportation focus allows us to use the summon boat spell, which is super good, and I like the wind catcher because I can kind of stockpile my wind for whenever a bunch of aggressive mobs get on me, and I can just blast right through them. Additionally, you want to have 2 crewmates. I went with the Jobless Jim from the Port Sarum Bar and the Ghost of Cabin Boy Jenkins, which requires completion of Dragon Slayer 1. You can recruit him by returning to the wreckage of Lady Lumbridge with a Ghost Speak amulet and get him to join. Finally, this is what my inventory looks like. The runes are for teleporting to Civitas Illa Fortis and for Summon Boat. The Chisel and Hammer are for my birdhouse runs. Waterbirth Island teleports to get back to Releka after a birdhouse run. A Sailor's Amulet just in case I need to come back to the Pandemonium, and my cash tag from turning in courier tasks. So to start, we're going to teleport to Releka and look for any tasks that are from Varlamore or Zaya to Releka. Oh, one more thing. I'm using the Sailing plugin, available on the plugin hub, and the Port Task plugin to make this so much easier. So here I see a Releka to Etzeteria, but I'm not level 70 yet, and Etzeteria to Releka. I'm not going to worry about this one. I do, though, already have Port Piscarilius to Releka, and that's good. Because if we go here on the world map, so what we can do is we can find a bunch of tasks from the Sunset Coast to Releka, from Alderaan to Releka, but also Alderaan to Port Roberts, or the Fortis Coliseum, and then we can get tasks from there to come up to Releka. So that's pretty much what we're trying to do, is we're trying to make a quick little route to where we can come back to Releka with 4 tasks, because the farther away they are, the more experience you get when you're finished there. Finally, at 65, you can go to Etzeteria, so you'll want to be prioritizing those types of courier tasks to go to Etzeteria. You can get some from Releka to Etzeteria as well as kind of like your last one to finish it off. So I start by teleporting to Civitas Illa Fortis, and then using the Quetzal network to come down to the Sunset Coast. And once I'm here on the dock, I summon my boat. And if I had any tasks from Sunset Coast, I would grab my cargo before getting on here. So I'm going to hop over here to Alderaan right quick. And I'm going to check this notice board. Alright, we're looking for anything directly to Releka first, and I don't see anything. But I do see to Sunset Coast, so I can grab that one right quick. And I also see one to Civitas Illa Fortis, the Fortis Coliseum. So I'm actually going to grab both of those and knock them out right quick. So you want the 2 crewmates because they can also help you with cargo. So as you see, they both have 2. Well, Jobless Jim has 2, and Cabin Boy Jenkins has 1. I have the other one, and that's 4 total. and that's all the cargo we need. But we can carry up to 5 pieces of cargo together. So I'm gonna come over here to the Sunset Coast, grab these right quick. And I think you could skip these. You're not gonna really miss out on a ton of experience. As you see, it was only 167 for that short little hop, but it's not the end of the world. By the way, in the little interim here, this cave that's outside of Fortis Coliseum, I would be willing to bet that that's gonna have something to do with the 4th raids. So you can go ahead and mark my word on that. And then in about 7 years, when we get a new raid, you can come back and tell me that I was right the whole time. Or we can come back in 7 years and tell me that I'm an idiot. Either way, it's still funny to me. Alright, so I'm here at the Forest Coliseum. I'm going to grab my cargo right quick and drop it off. And while I'm here, I'm going to check this board as well for anything that goes up to Relica or Etceteria. So we got Port Sarum, we got Port Piscarilius, that's not too bad. That's on the way. And I do have to stop by Port Piscarilius anyway. So grab that task, grab my cargo, let's not forget that, it's kind of important. And we're just going to jump back on the ship and head back up to Port Piscarilius. And you see I'm sailing past Port Roberts here. If you don't have a task for a port that you're going by, I don't think mathematically it's worth stopping to check the board. So if you didn't get something from Alderaan or Relica or Fortis Coliseum that says, hey, go to Port Roberts, don't stop. Same thing with Port Piscarilius. If you don't have a reason to go there already, don't stop there. Unless you're at a point where like you don't have any tasks. Like if you got really unlucky, like I've kind of gotten unlucky here, where I only have one task that takes me back to Relica. Probably would not have been the worst idea to stop there at Port Roberts and just see, because I only have 2 tasks right now, and one is to Port Piscarilius, and the other is to Relica from Port Piscarilius. Alright, got my cargo, I'm going to drop it off, and hopefully we get lucky here. We have 1 to Relica, and that's really it. So, just 2 tasks, and sometimes this happens. As you see, my XP rate has dropped pretty significantly, but it was, setting up the recording and writing the little intro section of going over the boat and stuff like that. I've had some hours where I get around 90k XP an hour after getting all of these speed upgrades, and I've had some hours where I'm closer to like 70, 75k. There's a lot of things that kind of change your XP rates. Like if you get stuck in a corner like I am right now, that's obviously it's going to reduce your experience rates. But sometimes you get tons of really, really good tasks that will take you all the way to Relica, and you get a ton of experience for them. Also, getting stuck on NPCs is another thing that reduces your XP rate. So I'm not going to talk for this section, but I am going to actually show this route because it can get a little dangerous. There's some hammerhead sharks and some krakens that will take a bite out of you. While you're doing this, you can also bring something to high elk while you sail, because there's a lot of actions that you can do while you're sailing that won't interrupt your navigating and manning the helm. So I know for sure that alchemy is one of them. I would imagine something like enchanting bolts or enchanting any jewelry maybe making darts or making bolts works as well. So if you're a multi-skiller, you can definitely take advantage of that. Or if you're like me with a pretty low magic level, you can bring some AUX, make a little bit extra money, and get some experience on the side as well. So here, these orcas, they don't do anything to you, they won't attack you, but I like to kind of thread the needle here through the rocks. Make sure I keep my navigation skills up for when it's time to do the Gwyneth Glide. As I'm passing these NPCs, I like to just hover over a wind moat, and if I see any of them, kind of come at me, I'm just gonna blast this and just go super fast. I always like to keep one in the chamber, and whenever I get the chance to trim, I will do that, and then use that wind moat that I just got, because I don't think that if you have 2 wind moats and your wind catcher, I don't think you can get another opportunity to trim, so I like to always have one slot open. Yeah, that's pretty much how you dodge all the NPCs. Sometimes you get hit, sometimes you don't. It just depends on if the NPCs are feeling nice today. Alright, coming up here on Releka, you usually get one more wind moat, but I like to slow the boat down before I hit the buoy. Otherwise you end up all the way over here and it sucks. So I'm going to check our notice board right quick, see if we got anything that goes to Etceteria. We can grab the Sunset Coast one, that's good. Yeah, that's really it, man, we're unlucky. Now, what you don't want to do is, you may see there that there's the Etceteria to Releka. You don't want to grab that one. It's not going to be worth the experience. And if you go up to Etceteria and then come back down, or try to tack it on to the end of your next route, that's not going to work, because when you use the summon boat, all of your cargo gets deleted. So you want to make sure you don't have any cargo. So no cannonballs, no repair kits, nothing like that. You can't have anything in the cargo hold. Otherwise, when you use summon boat, it gets deleted, because they don't want you to be able to load your ship up with cargo and then teleport somewhere and get all the experience a lot faster. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I am planning on doing this until 70. Partly because I don't have Song of the Elves finished, but also because at 70 you unlock the Proof Tennis Port, which the route changes just a little bit, and then you'll do that route until 72, and then Gwyneth Glide to 200 mil experience. Unless Gwyneth Glide sucks to do, I personally don't know because I haven't done it. But if it does suck, I will try to find another route similar to this, where it's more chill, it's more relaxing, and it doesn't stress me out nearly as much. So if you are interested in that kind of thing, well, I guess just stick around, and maybe it'll come out, maybe it won't. With me, there's really no telling. Sometimes it'll be 3 years before I want to make a video, sometimes it'll be 3 days. So that's all I've got. Take it easy, enjoy the sailing, and if you don't like it, well, I can't blame you, because I don't really like it that much either, but it is what it is.